So I got a special edition Advance Wars Game Boy Advance because I got both of the Advance Wars games because I really wanted to play as the Blue Moon again.
I've been waiting to play as Yellow Comet. I had it on the DS, it was a pretty good game. Waiting for the Switch one to come out.
I like playing as Orange Star.
Hey, you guys excited to do the Advance Wars skit?
Yes, God! Yes! Come on! Yes!
Ooh, sorry guys. It looks like they're canceling Dr. Mario World. I'm gonna have to move to that instead.
Well, couldn't we still film the Advance Wars skit right now? Like, we're all here.
Sorry, Shane, it looks like they delayed Advance Wars.
Derek, those two things didn't happen on the same day. You're kind of ruining the fiction of this whole thing.
No, just forget it, Shane. I think this was a bad idea. Look, I didn't even do a Famicom Wars video yet.
Derek, you can't just keep teasing your fans like this. You know, like, you keep saying that you're going to delay this thing inevitably, and it's just going to get their hopes up. You just need to focus on it and follow through it and just understand it'll be fine, and you're going to just start the show while I'm talking. Yeah, well, today on Ninchronicles, we're going to be looking at Dr. Mario World. How do you feel about that? Stole your thunder, didn't I?
Ah, geez, at the rate I'm going, this show is only going to be able to cover dead games. Dr. Mario World was a mobile phone app developed by Line and released in 2019. After a little more than 2 years in operation, the clinic closed down. It had some elements to it that have become commonplace in a lot of mobile games these days, with character lottery, daily missions, and consumables to spend real-life actual money on. Now, the truth is, the nature of a game like this, with it constantly receiving updates and shifting things around and the like, it can make it really hard for me to catalog it. Given the choice between making a video that might be quickly outdated and waiting until the game's on its last legs, I figure this way I can at least cover it with some sense of finality, depressing as it may be. With that out of the way, let's get on with the eulogy for Dr. Mario World. Much like the rest of the Dr. Mario franchise, it was a puzzle game. However, it did things a bit differently. Being on touchscreen-enabled devices, the primary method of control was touching and dragging pills. Now, this isn't entirely new, and in fact didn't even start in a Dr. Mario game. The bottles are also flipped around so your pills float up instead of down. But the real standout here was that after nearly 3 decades of being a Match 4 game, Dr. Mario World toned it down to a Match 3 game. Instead of the usual level progression of viruses increasing in number as the game goes on, stages are set up kind of like a puzzle. You have a limited number of capsules to work with, so your job is to clear out the level before you run out. For the first couple worlds, it was easy to recognize where you needed to place your pills. As you went further and further in, you needed to think more carefully and hope luck was in your favor. After every couple moves, the game would send a rainbow capsule your way, which worked as a wild card, able to be matched with any color. There's a lot of new elements added to this game, so it's not just simple virus busting. Bricks that get in the way, bombs that clear an area, colored blocks that break only when you match the same color next to them. There's stuff that affects the viruses too. Sometimes they'll be encased in ice, or float towards the top inside bubbles. You can break them out by matching pills, but there are the occasional levels where machines will just refreeze or rebubble them again. Some of the more clever viruses use a flotation device. Those ones need to get hurt 3 times before they finally get eliminated. Other obstacles can be more of a hindrance, like these electric barriers. They switch on and off every time you drop a pill without making a match, and can only be broken if you catch them off guard. These flasks are also something to watch out for. If you aren't making matches, it'll throw more junk on the screen, sometimes even more viruses. On the flip side, these bottles here do the same sort of thing, but with helpful items like bombs or shells. Coins can show up in a variety of ways. Some are out in the open, some are caged because you need to collect them in a specific order. Some are hiding in bricks, some are hiding in the background and you need to clear the area. Sometimes they get muddy and need to be cleaned up. The goal of a stage may not always be about eliminating viruses. You might shake things up. You might need to break all the bricks, or collect all the coins, or maybe just focus on getting rid of one color of viruses, or clear a path so these bubbled keys can get through the doors. Taking care of a lot of these can exhaust your capsule count before you have a chance to win. So this is where the different character power-ups come into play. With the viruses going out of control, the Mushroom Kingdom had no choice but to hand out doctorates to anyone and everyone. Between good guys, bad guys, babies, and the same character but with a fire flower, you might be curious who's on call. Well, you've got Dr. Mario and Dr. Luigi. Dr. Toad and Dr. Peach with Daisy, Rosalina, Luma, DK, Diddy, Toadette, Yoshi all got PhDs. Wario and Waluigi. Is there anybody that won't give these two? Baby versions, fire versions, Bowser and the Sun. Okay, now don't get confused when I show you this next one. Dr. Mario from the Nintendo. Just like in that game, his pixel count is low. Baby Wario. No, he isn't new. Last time he was seen was Yoshi's Island 2. That's 06, folks. Kamek and King Boo, Nabbit Lakitu, Petey, all the Koopalings, and Dr. Blue Purr. Dr. Koopa, Dr. Dolphin, these two bosses brought their minions. I've almost told you everyone. There's Bowser as a skeleton. This one is the last physician. Don't know who made this decision to put them in this position. This stuff kind of breaks tradition. Doctor, Goomba, Tower, done. Alright, we're back to normal. So the reason you're going to want to swap out characters is they all have different special moves. Dr. Mario will attack the bottommost row. Dr. Luigi will target a random area in an L shape. Dr. Boo will clear out anything in a 2x2 area. Dr. Ludwig can get rid of 10 instances of frozen stuff, but only 1 layer's worth. Dr. Larry can break colored blocks instantly. Dr. Dry Bowser is powerful and can immediately clear anything in 2 rows, including ones that need a multi-match. Dr. Waluigi instantly eliminates anything covered in dust. There's also assistants that can lend a hand during stages. Who do you have available, you might ask? Well, you've got Spike and Bone Goomba. No, I'm just gonna do this one normally. Basically, the lineup is a whole gallery of small-time enemies from the Mario universe. You can only have 2 with you at any given time, and they have a variety of helpful effects, like starting you out with a power-up right away, or giving you extra points. Just stuff to give you a little nudge here and there. The way you earn more doctors and assistants is the staffing room. For a small fee of 4,000 coins, you could add someone new to your roster. And if you found yourself with 40 diamonds, that works too. A staff ticket is also an instant way to use this room. Pulled someone you already have? That's an excuse for them to level up. For the assistants, this means they get a bigger boost in what they can do. And for doctors, that means their power meter fills up quicker. If you're after the doctors specifically, you could find 100 doc tokens to use the doctor-only room. The game notes that if you manage to max out a character, they would be removed from the pool and your chances of getting everyone else go up. Which is great, but you really needed a whole lot of pulls to get that far. A whole 30 duplicates, jeez. The game helpfully recommends the best doctors for a stage, which can be frustrating if you don't have them all yet, although you might find someone else actually works better. It's really just a matter of paying attention to who you have around and what the goals in the stage are. A lot of coins hiding in blocks? That's a Wendy level. Too many barrels? You need Lemmy! Game says to use Goomba Tower? Pfft, Toad can do the same thing but twice. Although I've always thought it ominous when it says the best doctors are Nabbit and Wario. It's like you're being told that you have no hope of winning with anyone besides someone who can add more pills and someone who can keep increasing your score. If you're really itching for help during a level, you could spend some diamonds on in-stage items. A boomerang will clear out a row, while a hammer can obliterate one space of your choice. This one here changes your next pill to be any double color you want. Versus mode is here. You can match up with people on your friends list, or, more likely, strangers on the internet. The doctors and assistants have slightly altered powers here. For example, instead of breaking colored blocks, Larry will instead send them to your opponent. Meanwhile, some characters will get even more powered up. In the regular stages, Bowser can attack 2 rows at a time, but level him up enough and in multiplayer mode he can do 3 rows. What's handy is that you can have different loadouts for the regular stages and the versus mode, so you wouldn't have to keep swapping doctors and assistants so much. Winning matches increases your rank, gives you some cash, and a key to unlock a box. Once you had enough to open the box, you had a chance to win 3 of 9 prizes, ranging from coins, doc tokens, even some special boss assistants exclusive to the box. Multiplayer mode also had recommended specialists that rotated out every week. What this meant is, if you played as these characters, you'd get some extra perks, like quicker power-ups, or double the reward keys. A lovely incentive to try out new characters. There was something of a fatigue system at work in Dr. Mario World. You could play multiplayer as much as you want, but to play a single-player stage you would need a heart. If you won a stage, you'd get your heart back and keep playing. If you lost, it drained from your pile. And if you ran out, you'd need to wait for everything to charge up again. For most of its life, you'd even need hearts just to play the stages you already beat. But near the end, they actually dropped this restriction, and you'd even be able to recharge your hearts playing old stages. If you had people on your friends list, you could send them hearts, so they'd have an extra boost waiting for them if they ran out. Hopefully, they'd return the favor. If you didn't want to wait on them, you could always spend diamonds to get a half hour's worth of free games. When they announced the game was going kaput and stopped letting you buy diamonds, they let anyone who had spent actual money in the game basically have infinite plays. Yeah? What of it? Then there's the Skill Summit. Oh, for the love of... The Skill Summit, when they were active, were special levels where you were only allowed to use specific doctors. You'd team up with another doctor, and after a few moves, they'd lend you a hand by letting you use their ability. Or rather, the stage could not continue unless you used their ability. Instead of stars, your teamwork would instead earn you kudos, which accumulated into more prizes. Or even special boosts to make it easier to play stages, like quicker intervals between using your special ability, or a huge point boost. You can also use some of these boosts before you start a stage too. Every world has some challenge stages in them, which replace the capsule limit with a time limit. These difficult stages will give you a prize box for managing to survive them. If you manage to pull off a 3-star clear on every level in the world, you'll unlock a special stage to cap it all off, and nets you a free doctor. Needless to say, it's a feat just to be able to play them in the first place. There were also timed events related to the single-player stages that would rotate out. While it mostly just became eliminating a certain number of viruses to win some prizes, when the game was more active, there were also ones for earning stars or chasing a prize box. There were even times where you got to play exclusive stages to cure an enemy from the Mario world. There were medals you could earn if you wanted to show them off on your profile, typically ranking from Shining for clearing the stages, Dazzling for getting 3 stars on all stages, and Brilliant if you beat the special stage. With the game shut down, it now leads to Dr. Mario Memories, a summary of how the player did during its run. Basically shows you your game stats, how many times you used each doctor, your versus mode victories, how far you got. Yes, sadly I wasn't able to get to the last stage before it ended. Dr. Mario World's core gameplay was honestly pretty fun. Between trying to beat the stages, getting better scores, figuring out which doctor was best suited to clear the level, the nail-biting versus matches, I was sad to see it go, and it's a shame it couldn't have been reworked into some kind of single-player-only experience. But that's just the nature of these types of games, I suppose. I may not be able to prescribe playing this game anymore, but maybe it'll inspire a puzzle mode or something in a future Dr. Mario game for Switch. Which will most likely be a spin-off starring Dr. Goomba Tower.
So, okay, you
Listen.
want us to talk about Advance Wars?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait.
I was talking about Advance Wars. So I'm really looking forward to popping open my Game Boy SP and playing as Blue Boy in the Advanced Wars game. So I actually got 2 special Game Boy Advances for both of the different Advanced Wars games, and I was really excited to go back and play as the Blue Moon. I don't know what to say. So I'm like such a big fan of like the Blue Moon that I got a tattoo of them on my leg.
Hey guys, ready to do the Advance Wars skit?
Yes! I would love this!
Ooh, sorry guys. I just got news that they're gonna cancel Dr. Mario for mobile phone.
Yes! Come on! Yes! Oh
can't wait for that game,
Yes! Yes! Yeah, well today on Ninchronicles, we're gonna be looking at Dr. Mario World.
That's my bin! Ah!